You ever feel like you study all the time, but nothing really sticks? You read the same page 3 times, and your brain is like, 404. Memory not found. You highlight everything, rewrite your notes, stay up late grinding, and then on the test, your mind just goes completely blank. And the worst part? You look around and see people who seem to study less than you, but somehow they remember more. If that's you, this video is exactly what you need. We're not going to talk about studying harder. We're going to talk about studying smarter, using simple Japanese-inspired habits that help you stop wasting energy and start learning in a way your brain actually likes. In this video, I'll share 4 habits that can change the way you study. Less time, less stress, better results. No crazy hacks, no 10-hour study marathons, just small shifts that are super easy to try. Let's jump in. Habit 1. The study menu instead of study vibes. Most people study like this. They sit down, open their book or laptop and think, okay, let's study. 10 minutes later, they're scrolling, rearranging their pens, or deep in some random side quest that has nothing to do with what they need to learn. In Japan, there's a strong culture of preparation and clarity before action. Before you start a task, you decide exactly what the task is. So instead of "I will study," you create a study menu, a small list of specific, bite-sized tasks. It's like when you go into a restaurant. You don't tell the waiter, "Bring me food." You choose something. Your brain wants that same clarity. Here is how you do it in a simple way. Before you start studying, take 2-3 minutes and write a tiny menu for this session. For example, review Chapter 2, Summary. Do 5 practice problems. Make 5 flashcards from my mistakes. That's it. No giant list. Just 2-4 clear items. Now your brain knows exactly what done looks like. It doesn't feel like you're entering an endless tunnel called study. You're just ticking off small orders from the menu. And when you finish one, you get a tiny hit of "Nice, I did it," which makes it easier to keep going. Quick question. When you usually sit down to study, do you know exactly what you're going to do? Or do you just kind of hope it works out? Be honest and tell me in the comments. Team chaos or team plan? Habit 2. Active learning, not pretty notes. A lot of people think studying means making notes that look good, colorful, aesthetic, everything underlined. It feels productive, until you realize you spent an hour making art, not learning. In Japan, there's a strong focus on practice and repetition, not just presentation. Think about how people train in martial arts or music. They repeat moves, they test themselves, they correct mistakes. They don't just read about the technique, they try it. Studying can be the same. Your brain learns best when it has to do something with the information, not just look at it. So here's how to study smarter with this habit. For every chunk of information you take in, ask yourself, how can I use this right now? That might look like closing your book and explaining the idea in your own words out loud. Yes, talk to yourself. It works. Trying 2-3 practice questions without looking at the answer. Teaching the concept to an imaginary friend for 2 minutes. If you want something super simple, try this mini routine. Read a short section. Close your eyes or close the book. Explain it in 1 or 2 sentences without looking. Check if you were right. If you weren't, no problem. Just fix it and try again. That's active learning. Your brain loves this because it has to wake up and actually work. You're not just reading, you're using what you read. It feels a little harder in the moment, but you end up needing less total time because more of it actually sticks. I'm curious, are you more of a pretty notes person or a messy but effective person right now? Drop a pretty or messy in the comments so I know who I'm talking to. Habit 3. The daily tiny review loop. One big mistake in studying is this: cramming everything into one giant session and then ignoring the subject for days. Your brain is like, cool, forget 60% of that tonight. In Japan, there's a strong habit of regular, small reviews. In school, In training, in work, instead of huge, stressful catch-up sessions, they build tiny loops of repeating and refining. You can do this in a really simple way with something I like to call the tiny review. Here's how it works. At the end of your day, take just 10 minutes to quickly review what matters most. Nothing fancy. Pick one subject you studied that day and do one of these. Flip through your notes and highlight the 3 most important ideas. Do 3-5 quick practice questions. Open your flashcards and review only the ones you got wrong recently. The key is that this happens every day, not once a week. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 2 hours on Sunday and call it good. You do a little, often. Over time, this tiny review loop sends a clear message to your brain. Hey, this info is important. Please keep it. And your brain goes, okay, it'll file it in long-term storage instead of the temporary trash folder. If 10 minutes sounds like too much, start with 5. Set a timer, do a quick review sprint, and when the timer ends, you're done. No guilt, no drama. Just a small, consistent upgrade. Habit 4. Learn from mistakes like a pro, not a failure. A lot of students treat mistakes like proof that they're not smart enough. They get a bad grade or mess up a question and think, well, guess I just suck at this. In Japanese culture, there's a powerful idea called hansei, reflection. After something goes wrong, you don't just feel bad and move on. You calmly look at what happened, learn from it, and adjust. Studying smarter means doing that with your mistakes. Instead of avoiding them, you turn them into your best teacher. Here is one super simple way to do this. Create a mistake notebook or a note on your tablet called Stuff I Always Mess Up. Every time you get a question wrong, in homework, past exams, practice tests, you write it in there. But you don't just copy the question. You add one short line. Why did I get this wrong? For example, didn't read the question carefully, forgot this formula, mixed up similar concepts, panicked and rushed. Then when you do your tiny review, habit 3, spend a few minutes just on your mistake notebook. You'll start to see patterns. Maybe you always miss questions that have except or not in them. Maybe you always forget one step in a formula. Instead of thinking, I'm stupid, you think, oh, this is my weak pattern. Let me fix just this one thing. That's studying smarter. Less I'm bad at everything, more I know exactly what to improve. Okay, real talk. Do you usually look at your wrong answers and just feel bad? Or do you actually analyze them? Tell me honestly in the comments. No judgment, so we can all see we're in the same boat. So let's recap these 4 habits that help you study smarter, not harder, using simple Japanese-inspired ideas. The study menu. Instead of ill study, you give your brain a clear, small list of tasks so it knows exactly what to do. Active learning. Less time making pretty notes, more time explaining, practicing, and actually using what you learn so it sticks. The tiny daily review. Just a few minutes each day to go over what matters so your brain doesn't throw it all in the trash overnight. The mistake notebook. Collecting your errors and learning from them calmly so every mistake makes you stronger instead of killing your confidence. None of these habits are hard. They don't require you to become a different person or suddenly love studying. They're just small shifts that stop you from wasting effort on things that don't work and point your energy where it actually matters. If you want an easy way to start, here's a simple challenge. Before your next study session, write a tiny study menu with 2-3 specific tasks. After you're done, spend 5 minutes doing a tiny review and note down one mistake you made and why. That's it. You've already used 3 of the 4 habits in one day. If this feels like exactly what you needed to hear, hit like so the algorithm knows this kind of content helps. Subscribe if you want more about Japanese habits and studying smarter, and share this with that one friend who studies for hours and still says, "Bro, my brain just doesn't work." And before you go, tell me in the comments, which of these 4 habits are you going to try first? And when? Don't say someday. Pick a real time. Even one 15-25-minute session using these habits can be the moment you stop studying harder and finally start studying smarter.